call the meeting to order and start with pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, we have myself, Amy Freak, Sue Kimball, Carl Newton, Kim Burkhammer, Ed Spiker, welcome back. And our assistant, Melissa Prunier, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And did everybody get a chance to look at the meeting minutes from last week?
Yes.
Yes. They're over there somewhere.
The 14th.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the minutes from the meeting dated November 14th, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Were there only 2 votes up for this week? 2 pages? Correct.
We have a letter from the New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration, Municipal and Property Bureau, Equalization Bureau. It is the annual contract, correct? We, the undersigned, do hereby certify that the assessment and sales information provided by us on the New Hampshire Mosaic Equalization System has been thoroughly reviewed by this board and is complete and accurate to the best of our knowledge. We understand that this information will be used by the New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration to calculate the municipality's equalization ratio. The equalization ratio will be used to calculate the total equalized valuation for this municipality. And this is what we're expecting anyways.
That's not the tax rate. That's just our EQ rate.
Yeah.
Explain this to me like I'm 5.
Okay, so the equalization rate is how far off we are from being at 100% at market value. So you could sell your house for $500,000, but it's assessed for $300,000. We're about 40% away from, or let's say 250, it's assessed at 250. We're at 50% of equalized value. So in other words, we need to do a revaluation because we're too low. So you want to bring your assessed values up to market rate. So that's what they do for the EQ. And they do it, that's why they mandate to do it every 5 years, so that you're not way down here in assessments, because that would make all your tax rates way up here.
Right. So I see the Avatar vehicle, which is Carrie, I'm assuming.
Carrie's got his assistant, the measure and lister.
Okay, and then I saw there was a gentleman from the Internal Revenue.
Yeah, so the DRA comes in and they double check everything Avatar or any other assessment company does. So that's their way of checking that the data that Avatar is giving us is correct right. And fair and equitable.
Okay.
That's why they do random sampling of measurements and stuff, because I got a card saying.
You were selected.
Yeah.
Sure. I came home to a guy with a tape measure outside of my house.
That's just verifying that Avatar's information is correct.
All right, so we have to talk about the meetings in December. So we have a meeting December 10th, so that everybody's fine with that one. Correct, that's the second Tuesday. Yep. And
7 o'clock, I assume.
Yes. That gives me a chance to inhale dinner.
Yeah,
That's fine.
7.
I'm just making sure.
And then the joint meeting is on the 18th at 6:30 to 7:30. So do we want to have our meeting that same day? Just have a bunch of meetings?
I would say, especially if anything comes up, it'd be ideal to.
I mean, we're going to be in a meeting basically anyway, so if there's any business, we can do it that day.
That's what I suggest you,
Okay.
make it short and sweet as possible, but
Yeah,
if something comes up, we might as well.
Yep.
So did you want it before or after? The joint meeting is gonna go until at least 8 o'clock.
Why don't we do 6 and we'll just do a half an hour meeting, get our work done.
Anything that has to be anything
Signed,
critical.
Sound good?
6 o'clock.
Yep.
On the 18th.
You just have to start.
Yep, I will leave that day.
Get it to go.
So, while we have Brenda in the audience,
Front center.
again, joint meeting,
Yes.
ZBA, you're on the 18th, 6:30.
We're on board.
Planning board is okay, so we're all good. Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Couple more things before public forum. This is actually a request, Joseph came in, our new road agent, Joseph Bolio, came in, and I had asked him for a list of Christmas wish list of things that he needs in the budget for next year. Leaf vacuum, Billy Goat leaf sucker, for the ditches, because if they don't get cleaned out,
Oh, yeah.
they suck.
You either gotta
Terrible.
hire somebody to do it, or you gotta do it yourself.
Yep, and then roadside mowing that didn't get done, so we've gotta put some money in the budget for that. And then he brought to my attention that if we're gonna put the vehicles on the 5-year rotation, that one of the dump trucks is due. And if we start the ordering process now, we'll get it in 2027.
Right.
So what I'm gonna do, and, he said he's estimated the cost for a new truck would be somewhere between 150 and 200,000. And so he's saying we could establish a reserve fund to set aside. So what this sounds to me is, we order the truck, we start saving the money, and then when we get it, we start the payment plan with it, and we have the money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So we already have some reserved.
We do, because we put money in.
That's much more sensible than,
Capital resolving fund.
instead of having to borrow money.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna actually, I'll jump down to this really quick, because this has to do with this. The budget advisory committee.
So bring us to the budget.
Yep, so Russ is in Florida until December 18th, so he, and I panicked.
Really pushing this.
I know, I panicked. I talked to Jim, and he's like, we need 2 meetings. And they all have a copy of this. He said, we need 2 meetings. The first one, to get everybody going on what they have to figure out, and then the second one to finalize it. Or do I have it before then, without Russ?
Boy.
Can he join in remote?
Yeah, can we get him remotely?
Probably.
I mean, usually it goes early November, not December.
No.
Because it has to be posted
Yeah.
for the public, because they.
For the end of January, right?
That's their last.
All right, so I will see if I can't get, are you available next week? During the week?
Yeah.
And you won't be able to be there because it's gonna be in the afternoons? Correct. So we are gonna have to, Ross brought it to our attention that, even though it's an advisory group, we have to post it 24 hours and there has to be minutes.
Yes, yes.
So,
For 3 days.
no, 24 hours. All of our meetings are 24 hours.
No, 3 days, minimum. 24 hours is emergency.
24 hours is emergency. It should be 7 days.
It's for 3 days.
It should be 7 days.
Oh, well, 3 days minimum,
Yeah.
3 working days minimum.
There's my 91A. Let me see if I have 91A in here.
And it's hard to prove an emergency really. You have to have a real emergency.
Yeah, no, it should be at least 7 days.
Because you take the weekend out, and that's 5, so, yeah.
Except in emergency, notice of the time of place of each meeting, including a non-public shall be posted, blah, 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 at least 24 hours, excluding Sundays and legal holidays. An emergency, yeah, so at least
Oh, that's
24
emergency.
hours. No, this is except in emergency. 24 hours.
So what happens with an emergency?
Now.
You just have the
Just
meeting
have it.
and then you explain in the
Later.
minutes why it was an emergency.
So we have a standard dredge and fill wetlands permit application for a dock off Kemp Road. And we have received it, and we will give this copy to the planning board. Now, I'd like to make a motion to open public forum number 1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Woo! Anybody?
Good evening, Madam Chair. I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Representative William Hemingway, elect. And I just want to say thank you for all the hard work everyone did for the election. And if you need to get a hold of me, I can give you my email address. It's WJ Hemingway with one M at Wayne numeral 4, New Hampshire. .com.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kim, were you talking about revaluation of the whole town, or
Yes, I was, Brian.
you was?
Yeah, and it will happen next year.
It'll happen next year? Okay.
That's when we're
I
scheduled.
gotta start saving for when something happens to mother, so I'm ready.
You can take some of that black paint and put up some moldy stuff on your side and, make your road roof look really bad.
Yeah.
You know the tricks, Brian.
Break a window. Anybody else?
Nothing, Brenda?
Not today.
All right.
What text?
No. It'd be interesting. Yeah, I think you should tell the board.
Okay. I thought I got your shirt. Church? We all need to go.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. No, we definitely don't.
The zoning board had a meeting with, Scott Contos and his fiance on Prairie Brook Road, with the 2 box trailer there.
Alicia Wallace.
Yes. And they are currently trying to find out where the boundaries are, because they apparently don't know. But anyways, he sent a text to me today, and I'll read you the text. It's spoke with the state yesterday and just received an email today confirming that we are not on state maintained road, which was not ever a question in our mind, so, and there's no right of way.
What does that mean?
That's what I'm wondering. So their interpretation is that measurement is from road edge 35 feet. Please email me supporting documents stating that the setback is not from the road's edge. Well, of course it's from the road's edge, if that's where the right-of-way is.
But it's not usually because it's a 2-rod road, which is 50 feet wide, which makes it roughly 25 feet from the center line to their property line, approximately, depending on.
Yeah, it's not the edge of the pavement.
No, it's not.
No.
Because the town would have an easement on the edge of the pavement.
Same way the state does.
Same way the state does for snow removal
Right.
or for any of the electrical poles.
Right.
So it's typically, depending on the road, from the edge of that easement, 35 feet back.
Right.
Is that box trailer that's next to the road, he wants to keep that there on concrete? Is that the plan?
He's pouring a slab in between the two.
Okay.
Or thinks he's gonna. But he's only 17 feet from the edge of the road to the first corner of the box trailer, not 35.
Oh, yeah, no, I knew that was the 30. I drove by
Right,
yesterday.
so,
And the slab, the first corner, is 22 feet.
yeah.
So either way, he's not in the setbacks.
No, it's 35 feet, correct?
Yeah.
So why is it going to stay into it? Isn't this the town?
He thinks it's, for whatever reason, the setbacks are only for state roads, I think. You know, doesn't realize the town has right of ways for every road they own, including class 6 roads. Everything has usually 2 rod unless otherwise specified. So unless Croydon Brook Road
So
is
we're gonna have another meeting with him. at some
I would
point.
suggest that somebody find out what the actual road actually is, a 2 rod road. It should be listed somewhere.
What road is it?
Croydon Brook.
Croydon Brook.
Almost all roads are 2 rod unless specified, which is approximately 50 feet.
We don't even have a list.
We have, the road records are very scarce. So the only thing we really have are the requirements in the ordinance which say that there's a 35-foot setback. But it doesn't go into any type of specificity on where the setback is from.
Right.
But even if it's from the edge, he's 22 feet from the edge of the pavement?
Yeah.
So that doesn't give us
Yeah,
35 feet.
even that.
It can be, yeah.
I agree.
So, and then his big problem is, he's in the flood zone if he moves the stuff down over the hill. Which, that's not our problem.
Well, he's got vehicles parked down there
Yeah,
already,
right.
so.
And he's also just put a shed over by that greenhouse.
So how far is he from the edge of the pavement to where he wants to pour the slab?
22 feet.
So does he want you to give him an area variance or
Yeah.
a dimensional waiver?
But he doesn't even show a hardship either.
And not counting the first Connex box is anchored almost to the ground,
So
and that's even 8
orange
feet
box
closer.
Angle, is it 22 feet from the edge that's closer to the house?
Perpendicular from right the edge of the,
Or the one that's closest to the road?
Closest to the road.
Could he use the flood as a hardship, the flood area?
I don't know.
off the property, you know, we got.
Well, she,
Well,
I think
she's
it's she and her
owned
mother.
the property since 2010.
Wow. This is the problem, people don't come to the select board and don't ask questions, or they do
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay, were you gonna have a meeting with him?
Yeah, we're gonna have another meeting. I haven't got a schedule yet.
Okay.
So we get that stuff figured out.
Okay.
Like I'm on my way to underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of a service.
It's kind of
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, they do.
That's technically the edge of, that's the. it's
Yeah,
the-
it's always be probably gonna have to do a survey.
If they had a survey, I think that would really be of a
Well,
help to
they have to
them.
require it. I mean, they have to prove where their property is.
But if they had a survey, they would have a better understanding of where everything is. If they're in a flood zone, you can go to FEMA and get, if it's not, you can prove or ask FEMA to change the flood.
It's not a living
bound-
quarters.
boundaries, and if it's not a living quarter, they might do that. So then he could move things down into that area, because that could be changed.
That's his best option.
And rather than a hardship, rather than a variance, if you granted him a waiver, an equitable waiver of dimensions, then he wouldn't have to prove the hardship. If the stuff is already poured, he just left that, he didn't put another slab down there. I don't know, I haven't seen it, I have not been there on site, so.
Well, there's no concrete poured yet, and that's what we're trying. We were trying to avoid that happening and then have to have him tear it
Yeah,
up.
tear it up, yeah.
Well, he didn't pour the 3x3 for the Connex
Right.
boxes.
He just
poured
put
the Connex
little
box,
pads for the corners of his trailer.
which makes it a fixture.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was, that is very close.
It is,
That makes.
it's about 6 feet from his property line, so I'm guessing his property line is those spruce trees.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just a guesstimate,
Right.
but
well, certainly no more than 8.
no. So that's a problem within itself without getting
Yeah.
permission to put a building in the wrong place.
All right, if there's nothing else, I make a motion to close public forum 1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do you have transfer station updates, besides we have 2 attendants now?
Everybody's so far very happy up there, as I know, and getting more information about how we're getting rid of more merchandise. Joe just came with something else today that we were talking about, so we're moving and getting rid of stuff. And the next few months, we'll hopefully have a little more fine-tuned financially for everything.
Yeah, and procedure, and thank you. Steve's been trying to call different
Yes.
areas and things, but he's been trying to make it so that things that have been going away have been more cost effective, and we just need to get it out of it.
Well, that's, this year, and I said,
Yeah. Let's just get
let the
rid of
new crew start fresh, and during the next few months, we'll try to fine-tune stuff as best we can.
Is the oil gone now?
No, that's, Joe wants to wait, I didn't know Joe takes care of it. That's what I found out today. He says, oh, you got plenty more to go, and I'll haul it out to Sunday when they want it.
So we had a couple of, we have somebody up there give our 2 people a hard time this weekend.
Oh, yeah, Ken said.
And I have a license plate number, but we have no way to identify this person. So that's the license plate number of the vehicle. There's no way to get a hold of them. We need to figure out some kind of a procedure or policy to allow people to understand that they need to listen to the attendants, and if they tell you you can't just take stuff that goes in the construction dumpster and just throw it in the hopper, and then toss a punch card at the attendants and say, this
I
will
can't
take
believe you
care of
did
it.
that.
I'm not surprised.
There's gotta be some way to handle that.
The 3 of us took a little bit of grief the other day, too.
This is,
Yeah.
that's that one.
Kim, what's the first 3 numbers of the complaint?
455. I'm not asking you to do anything with it.
No, I can't.
I know you cannot.
I just wanted to know if it was one that I found last year.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
We also,
Yep.
Ken and Mason, both told this woman that she didn't have a permit to get in there, and she didn't have any punch cards, and she was adamant about throwing stuff away. She just filled up her pickup truck and was gonna throw it away. So she came over to me, and I said, how long you lived in town? Well, I've been here for 3 months, but I was told I didn't need a permit. I said, you've been
This
here?
person?
No.
Oh,
No, this is
person.
this is a younger woman from the building permit from Haywood's Road. And she really gave us a hard time. And she stomped off. I mean, she'd been going into the there without, I mean,
Isn't it $2, right?
well, yeah, but, yeah, it was, yeah, but.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need to put some additional signage up so that it's there, people can see it. I don't know if that's going to help. I'm not certain how we can make it so that everybody understands that there's a reason why you can use the transfer station, and there are things that you can and can't do while you're there.
They're all listed all over the place, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I said, didn't you see the sign when we walked? No, I didn't see the sign. It says permit required.
Now, the only thing I worried about with Mason is he's very unique in mind. I don't know Ken.
Ken will.
As long as he doesn't take a lot of grief, he'll be fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not gonna argue. He'll
He's
do
very
what he
diplomatic.
just did,
Yeah.
take a picture of the plate and,
Yeah.
So now what happens if this person does this again?
If this person's going to do this again. I mean, maybe it was a bad day, maybe I don't know this person, but I don't care. If you're having a bad day, go take a walk in the woods and get away from people. Don't take it out on other people.
just doing his job.
Yeah, they're just doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Does he have the authority to call the police next time because he's got the plate?
Well, this is what I'm asking. We need to come up with some kind of a procedure.
I don't have to stand down there.
Well, no, so if they pull that again, what you do is you have Ken or Mason ask them to leave. If they don't leave,
Then you call.
the police and you have them trespass on the property.
But I think we need a written policy in place so that we can pull that out of our back pocket and say they're following procedure. This is a procedure. Okay, you had a bad day, we wrote it off. You're gonna do it again, we're gonna ask you to leave. You don't leave and follow the procedure, we're calling the police because that is what we were told
Because
to
at that
do.
point, it's theft of services.
Well,
Yep.
you can eventually be I mean, we can trespass you. It's a private business. Just because it's town owned doesn't mean it's.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can be trespassed.
And I really think that it's, everything we're just saying is great, but I think we just need something in writing so
I think
that.
we should move ahead and write up something like that and get it passed as soon as possible. That's all, I agree.
So
I mean, we
that,
have very few instances, but it's, yeah, and there's a couple of beauties up there.
that way we're all covered. They're covered because they're following the procedure that they have in place, and they can keep a copy up there. And then everybody knows how they handle these kinds of things.
Carl, do you want to give us that one? You mind?
Yeah, well, I can write something up, or you can write it up, but who's better? You write policies, I mean, I just,
I can write it up.
well,
Yeah, I can write it up.
I mean, I don't mind doing it, but I don't do policies.
All right, so next we have the Lovern Hill building permit. Did you guys look at this one out back?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, so can we talk about it? Do we have to look at it again?
No, we can talk about it.
Okay, talk to me. Everything looks good?
Everything's good. I have a question for the chair of the zoning board. Madam Zoning Board Chairman, on this plan, there are two structures on this plan. There are two septic permits. I'm sorry, can everybody hear me? I'm really loud, so as long as you guys can hear me, okay?
close enough.
On one of the structures, it says home business with its own bathroom and its own septic system. The other one is a 3-bedroom home. It doesn't specifically state what kind of home business. I don't know what type of traffic it's going to.
I'm not sure about that.
See, I don't know if you can have that
What
without
I
a
was
special
told
exception.
by him was that they're building the barn, which will be near the road,
That's the home business.
okay? And then in that barn, closest to the road, is gonna be a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
But that's
This
not
says
what it
home business. That's what it says.
Okay.
So,
Well, she's a realtor,
yeah,
and he just retired. He owned on-site construction company.
Oh,
So he just retired and sold most of his equipment. So I think it's probably for her real estate stuff.
okay. So is it allowable in the rural residential zone to have a home business in an auxiliary structure?
I believe
Do they
so.
need it by a special exception, or can they just have it by right?
I think they can just have it, because, I mean, you get Tommy with his record business right at home on Turnpike Road,
Yeah.
and.
But that's also something that I think he needs a special exception for, which he doesn't have. We're going through all of that. I just want to make sure before we sign this building permit,
Right.
that they don't need to come in and see you guys and just get a special exception to have that business.
As far as I know, I don't think so.
So on the zoning board, under section B that defines the rural residential district zone, it says the permitted uses, single-family dwellings, sales of agricultural woodland products, and then C, home occupations and professional offices, accessory to residences, and sales of any produce resulting from such a home occupation. So I believe that would fall underneath it, but
Accessory to residences?
yeah, so I don't know.
That was my question, because it's going to be in a separate structure.
It's a separate structure,
Right.
but how, is there any rules for putting multiple septic tanks on?
No,
it's actually the right way to do it if you're gonna do it.
yeah, I think it's cleaner, but because the zoning ordinance is just a little bit
kind of says it should be attached.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
versus two separate buildings.
And so Tommy's is different because his
Right.
has that garage and the fenced in yard.
I mean, it's basically, it's two building lots, basically, with, it's, you know.
Unless they are attached.
Right.
yeah, and this one, so, I mean, it's,
I mean, they could be attached with a breezeway.
Yeah, but that's a long way
That's a
away.
long ways.
They're- You see
It's
it?
a long
No, I
ways.
haven't seen the plan.
No, the second ground on the second.
we still don't have, he is opening up on the side.
The cover sheet.
Yeah, down the back of that field, yeah.
Yeah,
We still have the
It's
cover
already
sheet
started
for me
for
to be able to even sign that. And don't we do septic permits?
yeah, we have to have
first?
septic first.
We don't have a driveway permit either.
We don't have a driveway permit? What?
No, we
have a
do.
drive-
We
No,
do?
we most certainly do.
We
Do
do?
you?
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Well,
Where
we
is-
haven't
I
seen
think
it.
Jason took
There's
it
two
to
separate
assign the numbers.
septics here.
We
Yeah,
need to do this something different.
that's why I'm asking. And again, I want, before we sign it.
Make sure we get all the
We wanna
things.
make sure
I
that
think
we've
it's
got-
fine, the way it is, right there.
So somebody's gonna complain if you read that.
I'm. This is gonna set a precedent, Brenda. This is my
Yes.
question.
Right.
Whatever happens here.
Well, with this, it's no different than the thing down here on Route 10 with the big tall garage in the back. It's not a garage.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
So we either set a precedence that we're going to start enforcing special exceptions, or we're going to set a precedent that we're not going to enforce this special exception. This is my question. What do we do?
I would run it by your
Yeah,
members.
yeah, I was thinking.
I would strongly suggest it should be an adjacent building. I would say they could get an exception, but they have to go through the hoops every time. Whoever wanted to do this again,
Yeah.
would at least have to go through the zoning.
Otherwise, we're just
I mean, I think
opening
it's acceptable.
Pandora's box.
Yeah.
It's an accessory
I think
dwelling.
they- you know,
It's an accessory
Accessory
dwelling.
dwelling.
like you said, like it's not covering the
Right.
but
So it's,
So
Supposed to be
the
a
other
septic,
one-
but this is
Is
a
this
septic.
it?
Well, if
No.
there's
Oh,
a
no.
bedroom and there's a septic, it's an accessory dwelling unit.
yeah, it's
It's an
so
ADU.
somebody could turn it into an apartment, so,
Absolutely.
but we
Now
haven't,
Right, so
we
you
haven't
changing
given
the
it
use.
an ADU permit,
What
so.
is this over here?
And it already said there's an apartment, unit. You can't do that.
Yeah,
Gotta be attached.
1.0.
Well, I think he
she
needs to
said
go
that.
through.
It's not on the plan.
It's not on the plan, but I think he
I
needs to
know.
go through the special exception
I agree.
process.
I agree.
I just didn't.
Otherwise,
Yeah, so then we know exactly what's going to go on in there.
I'm gonna put a big building on my property and,
So
Address it.
I just think this way
I'm
we
just
get
gonna have
a
rain
better
on my
idea
fence,
of
3
what
nights a week.
exactly is happening in
All in
the
all,
whole business. And then if he sells it, whoever buys it would have
That's
to go
Joe.
back through the process. It's not an
Right.
onerous process.
Right.
It's just so that
right
everyone
way.
knows it's the right way to do it.
Every rich people.
and would you say the cover letter, so we don't
I
have
don't
anything
have
to
cover
sign?
letters for the septic, and we always do the septic first.
Yep.
And so I don't feel comfortable signing this without that.
And we're gonna want a copy of the driveway permit.
Yes.
So when Jason gets done with the driveway permit, we're gonna need a copy.
I'm gonna get a hold of Dominic when I get home and see what we can do to get that done quick. Cause I think these guys are away for Thanksgiving anyways. I think they were going to North Carolina.
I haven't seen anything happening up there the past couple days. I know they were breaking ground on that,
Oh yeah, they're pouring concrete. Couple paving.
but in the front.
Wait,
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
supposed to.
no, they're pouring.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got forms up front.
yeah. They've been
I saw it
digging
when I got
up grass.
You can't be doing that. You don't get a permit.
They're
They
doing
got forms in the ground already. They had to have loaded them off with a crane, because they got all the cranes up there.
Yeah.
so we have to table this.
Yep,
He's done it, we have to notify him, he needs to go to
Should we
zoning.
put a C&D for construction up there?
Absolutely, until they straighten this out. I mean, this is
I mean,
a
if
pain in
you're,
the ass, but
if
people are
we're,
gonna
if
wake
we're not
up.
gonna have answers for 2
And
weeks,
if you don't
and they keep
respond to it, then you can
pouring.
fine them. And then, you know, hey, this is, you can't build stuff without permits.
So if I call this gentleman and say, hold up,
Yeah, he's just gonna have to wait until, it's not complete.
He hasn't got a building permit.
no.
No, and that print you just showed me is nothing like what he told me he was gonna do.
No, this is another reason he should come see you guys again.
Yeah.
You
There
never
was a
said-
house and a barn,
Yeah.
and a one-bedroom apartment in the barn.
It doesn't say that in there.
Yeah, I know.
And he's only allowed by right an attached ADU, we haven't gotten the ADU.
I have another
detached
question.
ones yet.
How much acreage does he need, you need in this town? To have a building permit?
Oh, he's got plenty of that lot.
Okay.
It's just
He's gonna take
65
1
acres.
No. Oh,
He's
It's
gonna
only
take almost
one.
2 acres.
yeah, never mind,
He's got
sorry.
plenty
Yeah,
of
you're right, I'm
acreage,
sorry, yep.
All you're
No,
saying
If
is,
you was to subdivide, it's 3 acres a lot.
Yeah,
Did you see them pouring up there? They had a
I
concrete truck?
haven't seen them actually pouring, but I have seen,
I know the forms were there.
I saw those. I saw them today. I think they were taking them apart.
Oh, then
They got footers in.
definitely got it poured, yep.
They are,
Yeah.
the
people are just used to just.
Well,
footing.
I can run up tomorrow and if somebody's there, just come, hey, you need to stop.
Yeah, I'll call tomorrow and let you
I
go
can
tomorrow.
physically go up and just see if I can find a contractor. I can at least tell them it's gonna be, somebody's dying.
You really nice.
That was nice the last time. I had that discussion with Jim, I didn't say anything, I don't have conversation. He
Need
said,
more
"I'm here-
beans with honey.
I'm all here working for somebody." That's fine, I'm left. Say anything.
All right, let's do the Roman one.
Lawless town.
What is this?
Good. That's the one we didn't have a full-size print of.
We got two.
Right.
Oh, the long driveway people?
Yes.
The long driveway?
Yeah, and they emailed the little one.
Okay.
Huh? No,
No,
this is
no,
the,
that's on the other side. Yeah,
this is the one with the new septic systems going in.
right, on Gary's side. You're going up, it's on
In the
the
old orchard.
So here is the driveway. So here is, well, it's Eugene's.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
There's their septic. You already checked that.
Well, there was a pile of rocks and a pile of stuff, I mean, I
But
see
it's
where,
saying
I saw,
37.
right where your finger was, is where I saw that dump down, right where the boundary was, I looked at that and I pieced it off roughly where they're supposed to put it, so it looked about right.
So this is an approximate boundary line, not a boundary survey.
No, but he's got a pin,
But he's got,
he's got a pin mark right where that your finger is.
But the-
okay, so that's 37
The
feet.
other house is far away from anyways.
Oh, it's not the house,
Yeah.
it's just the boundary is the
Oh,
only
yeah,
issue.
yeah.
It's the only issue. But he was kind of confused why he needed a full size one, so we need one for your folder. I said, well, if you sell your house and you need one, there's always one here, you're chasing down the state, and we're supposed to have one on
Yeah.
record.
Also, it seems to believe.
And this
Well-
is the same.
Okay,
That's just,
So-
that one state's the bottom, that's what he did.
Just wait till we start making them bring in a big one and electronic version.
so now this is the building permit. Do we not have a cover page or for this, or we already signed this and it's,
We're supposed to have a cover page, so you can.
There
Thought
was.
we already did. Thought we already did.
There was
There's
a,
septic.
I thought we did too.
So the septic is the only one that has the cover page with the little box on it.
Yeah,
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 right.
These don't have
The
These-
building permits don't.
No,
No,
then these
no,
are
but
building.
we can't.
But the septic doesn't have.
Neither of these have them.
Okay, that's all I got.
The building.
I
Do
don't
we
think
see
was
that?
not septic, was just
With a
building.
place to sign?
usually we, is that approved
Is
by the
that,
state?
do we stamp it for a place to sign?
No, there's typically.
Usually
there's a
it's
cover
right
page.
here.
Yeah, there's a cover page that has a place that you need to stamp it and sign it.
Yeah, there's just.
We
the
don't
date by
stamp
date.
the plan itself,
Yeah.
because that has to be done by the engineer.
Yeah, we used to do it in our town, we used to sign that because we never had a cover letter.
Yeah, we have the cover letter, because it goes
Yeah,
to
that's fine.
us from there.
But that's been approved by the state, right, that one? That
So I
process.
don't think we
It's
got
got
a
a CA number,
septic
so yes.
for that. We have got a building.
That's what that's the most important.
So they put the cart before the horse for this too then, right?
But
We have to sign the septic before we can sign the building permit, correct? Yes. So they need cover page.
I would make motions to table.
I make a motion that we table Brunel building permit pending the cover page for the septic and a copy of the driveway permit, and that we table the McNamara Wellman building permit pending a cover page for the septic.
Second.
Right? Yeah, you got
Yes,
both.
you got them both. Yep.
All in favor?
Will you call this one? I won't call it. I'm making up. Will you call it?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I have to amend, I make a motion that we also have, the ZBA, or if you're going to talk to Mr. Brunel, that he needs to talk to the chairman of the ZBA regarding that accessory use, clarification on that use.
In the fact that he doesn't have a building permit to start pouring foundations and all sorts
Well,
of
that's for you, but that's my amendment to the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So we just need the cover letter for Wellman.
Yes, and we have to do their septic before we can approve their building permit. Right, because don't we send it to the state and the state says, yay, everything's good, and
Then we get it back from the state.
There's also another big
Drive.
industry
I hope it's-
town.
Like 40 seconds.
Where?
Up on Whitethorn, where the barn where Tony Orr farm. 200 and some odd acres.
298 or 300 and some odd acres, the Casa Grande. Casa Grande is the owner, yeah.
2.5 million.
Yep, 2.5.
That's been there for a while. But this came to me down
No, I have a question. I see this wonderful note back here. Would you be willing to attend, if I have the budget advisory group meetings, we have to do it like 2:30, 2:00 in the afternoon. I do that on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, could you be here?
It's gonna cost you.
Yes, sir.
per diem.
Thank you.
And that's subject to confirmation of time, right? The budget meeting.
Yeah, I was writing an email tonight, to Jim and to all of them, and if Russ can make it good, if not, we're gonna have to wait ahead, I think.
Yeah, it needs to be done.
Well, even if you have to have a third meeting, but you gotta start the wheels
Yeah.
sometime.
Yep. If it's in the afternoon, I will not be able to attend.
Okay, it probably would just be him,
That's fine.
and if it
Yeah, I
was you,
will
then we'd get in trouble.
not be able to attend.
No, you wouldn't.
We can't have three,
Yeah, three.
because I'll have to go too. And if it's me and you,
Yeah, there'd be a quorum.
I thought it was still for a meeting.
Well, that'd be a meeting, but it doesn't.
No.
okay. So next we have the waiver, did you do this?
The liability.
Class 6 road waiver.
Is this the same?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is gonna fix a few things.
Yes.
Is that the class 6
Wait,
road release? Yeah, there's a few things that I think that can just be simplified on it. Like putting the names of the thing and just having a paragraph instead of having the person write their name, town, and this thing over and over again. You can simplify that. Another thing too is that if you're going to be recording the registration means it has to have that 4-inch margin at the top of it in order for them to be able to sticker it.
This? Yeah.
Yeah,
it has
it's
to
a
have-
little bit more.
so you're saying just have their name filled in?
Yeah, we'll just have them fill in their name and stuff, and then we'll use language like, oh, the owners, and then so we'll list out the owners, and then instead of having them write their name 100 different times or the address, we can just go on the top part and then have that paragraph read as like the owners and the applicants, and then just kind of simplify it.
So, yeah, we can say here after the town, here after the owners.
Yeah.
That's easy enough to do.
Because those, if you read it, it's like, just putting that in address.
We can applicant in town.
Yep.
So who's got this on there?
I did. I wrote it.
Oh,
I knew that.
so you'll be
You
making
started
the
it a while ago.
changes
I knew you started a while ago.
to modify.
So basically what this does is it removes the class 6 road from the building permit. It removes it from so it's a standalone document. So it doesn't mean that you get a building permit, it just is if you want to build on a class 6 road, then you get that as a separate thing. But this is what you have to do to be on a class 6 road.
This comes first.
Yes. You record this, which states that this is what you can do. If you want to access a class 6 road, we'll go out and look at it. We'll determine, okay, how big is a class 6 road? How wide are you going to maintain it? How long are you going to maintain it to get to where you want to go? How high are you going to keep the trees clear? You're not going to touch the stone walls. You're not, all of the maintenance is going to be spelled out in the document that pertains particularly to you. And then the only other thing where it speaks to an insurance policy, John Rabb, who's the land use lawyer on the planning board, said that we should probably have the town to be an additional insured. I had that in here, but I took it off. But it doesn't cost any more to have the town put in on the insurance policy.
So which number does that?
Number 9.
Oh.
The applicant agrees to maintain an insurance policy with adequate limits to cover the cost of these claims. So they add it to their house insurance policy. And then they just put the town on that insurance policy onto the road. So if anything were to happen, if they go out and they get a big truck stuck in the middle of the road and you gotta go out there and pull them out, and it creates the insurance could cover it, they don't fix it.
And we're not responsible.
And we're not responsible.
Whoops. Oh.
So it really clarifies what a class 6 road is. And when you want to build, we're happy to have you build on your piece of property, not so much subdivide, but build on yours. But this is what you have to do. We're not responsible. Yeah, to comply, because the road is the road.
It's town road.
It's town road. So, I like it.
Okay.
Well, I can fix that. Thank you, that does make it a whole heck of a lot easier.
Can you make a couple little adjustments to it and we can go on it?
Yep.
Yay.
Thank you.
Good job, Kim.
Thank you. Temporary camper permits?
Did we ever approve that?
We have not, we used to have once, but we have not approved it. I only have one copy.
I can print out other copies.
Right, North Bridge, 119.
Oh, I read it already. Fantastic.
Just noticed it. That's old.
That's from a long time ago.
Yeah,
From this
it's
side.
a cached version of the website.
Ah.
Brighton.
Just says Brighton Road Bridge, why,
Floodplain only. That's a long time ago.
that was earlier this year.
Alright, so should we make a motion to?
We should be using that, yes, and making sure that people use it.
I got that one of them, sir.
Yeah.
So what happens if it's after October 31st and before May 1st?
So, where did I have that?
So it says, temporary use permits for no longer than 90 days between the dates of May 1st and October 31st.
So those are usually the days that the zoning ordinance allows for temporary camping or camping.
Home construction for longer
But
period
we
may
want,
grant.
yeah,
Okay.
we're allowing people to basically reside in their recreational vehicle
While they're building.
while they're building, or if they've had a fire or for whatever else, but we're granting them a longer period.
But they need an approved building permit.
Yep, so we need to have a permit.
And if they don't,
If they don't have a permit, then
They don't have an
they
RV.
They don't get a temporary camper permit.
so how do we handle the ones that are
You can't do a damn thing.
Well,
already,
then what we have to do now is we have to figure out a procedure to start getting this out to the people who are already in place. And
Okay.
say, okay, we have, according to our zoning ordinance, you are in violation. You are not supposed to be residing in an RV
without
building, without
Facilities.
doing, without facilities, without.
Friday at our meeting last
Did you
Friday, we voted to adopt the state camping ordinance. And so that will be a warrant article for town meeting. And also we voted to adopt the junkyard one also.
Okay. So you gotta bring that to the planning board so that we can have the public hearing on that. So you guys will have to come to that, we'll have the public hearings on that.
Yeah.
So people can come and talk to that.
Yeah.
So, you get to my other folder. I have the town meeting dates. So if you can get that to us, because the last day to post and publish notice for the first hearing on a proposed adoption or amendment of the zoning ordinance is Friday, January 10th.
Okay.
So, I will also email you a copy of the temporary camping permit.
Yeah.
I'm sure no one has to use another one down there on the.
I got one.
what's that?
There's another camper around the corner, but there's a driveway.
Are they living in it?
I think so. Right across from Zerba. On the hill.
Oh, the one that's, yeah.
I mean, it's pop-up, but
Is somebody living
pretty sure,
in Pines?
pretty sure.
Just before Lively's on the right.
Yeah. It's a pop-up right in the driveway.
It's been there, but I have never seen lights or anything, but I don't get out much. But I think it's an older gentleman and, I've seen teenage kids out there playing ball. I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe it's storage. What do I know?
Yeah, so accordingly, what this is the zoning ordinance says that people can come and camp in Croydon. They can use their RV or camper in Croydon for 90 days between the dates of May 1st and October 31st. After that, if they want to stay longer, they have to get a temporary camping permit. 90 days, I mean, they're gonna have to be in like Moon Lake or something. I still think you gotta figure out what you're doing with all of that gray water.
Yes.
Well, see,
And
It is, that's a long time.
So I'm gonna look up the state camping stuff, because I'm gonna think maybe it's less than 90 days.
I think it's 30.
But we need to send these out to the people that we know, if we can.
When we get that approved and whatever we're gonna do.
Well, we can approve it now, we can send it out, we can amend it at any time. If we find out that once the warrant, the article goes through and
Okay.
people agree and it changes the amount of time, then we can amend that temporary camping permit.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And I make a motion to approve the town of Croydon temporary camper permit.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Beauty. Police update.
Did you, Susan, did everybody get that information you did?
we already did,
Okay, you did?
yeah, I gave it to, yeah.
Well, did everybody get one or know about it? They weren't here. That's why I'm now bringing it up, because we had all
I
that
don't have, I
information.
don't have it.
We need it for the budget committees, that's why.
Yeah, believe I.
Someone.
Yep, that's it.
Dear Select Board, as budget season approaches and you begin to prepare your budget, the following is our calculation for communication fees for fiscal year 2024-2025. This calculation is based on the current per capita figure of $12.06 plus a 3% increase. Quotes are as follows. Police, $10,287 for annually. Fire, $3,778 annually. Police, fire, and EMS would be $14,065.97 annually. So that's dispatch.
Yeah.
This is dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
He was suggesting switching back to Newport Dispatch. Or
What are we
Newport
paying
Police.
this for,
I think I agree with that. I think it should be that.
Police.
we have budgeted
So for
16,000.
dispatch is 14,682.71.
So far, we have budgeted 16,200,
Not much difference.
and this would be coming out of Newport, which is closer.
And then London.
Yes, that's the Hanover dispatch.
Hanover, so
But in London comes.
how does
Wait,
that work
this
with
is just
a?
for dispatch.
This is just for dispatch.
Just for
Right.
dispatch.
So
So it doesn't matter where it gets dispatched to, it's a phone call.
right, it's just who we want to pay.
Right.
Who we want to pay.
Right, but it doesn't matter if it's close or not. It could be California. It's
I
just a phone
I
call.
think he was just saying Newport Dispatch because it is Newport Police Department.
And the ambulance
And
that
it would
would
be
come and the
faster,
fire.
and it would, he said something about it, it's more, there is a roundabout way, it gets a lot longer to get down there to come up here, because it goes to state
Gets
police.
routed.
If you
yeah,
went to them
state
first,
police
it would go to the state police, but he would get a message on it much sooner, so he could respond immediately, as soon as the state police could, versus waiting for another loop, something like that. But
It just moves Newport up, bumps them up in the notifications.
speed.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
So,
it's directly to Newport, it's not going to like calling 911, calling Concord, and then they're routing it
right,
to wherever. To Hanover, then to New London, this goes to Newport.
right, so when I call 911, Hanover will take it and say, oh, she's in Croydon.
And
That was
they'll
the
send
person.
it to New London, and then London will dispatch whomever,
Right.
whatever mutual aid.
So that's,
Where if it goes directly to Newport, considering Newport chief of police is now a Croydon citizen.
yeah.
Your name.
Right, and he did cover all the bases, I mean,
Moving
he
to
knows that it
Upper
has to
Hill.
go to town.
He's actually
meeting,
buying
all
a
that,
house.
whatnot. And we've had that discussion at meetings before, in London versus
You bought Warburton's house.
Newport.
Yeah.
we switched, I think, because it wasn't the radios or something with Richard Lee.
Care?
I can't remember.
What's my
I
last
don't know if
name?
it's
You know
something
who
with
I am.
with the radio, the
Hey, come on.
repeater, I mean, things have changed since then, so,
The
and
cell-
don't we have
Yeah,
that
they have the
new-
cell tower.
Yeah,
There's an equipment hut specifically for, and an RRU specifically for our EMS and fire on that cell tower.
but it doesn't have to be specifically for Hanover or New London
No.
or Newport.
It's for,
It's
it's
for
all,
whoever
yes.
we,
One of the other things that we're trying to do for a warrant article is a cell tower. And it's basically the only things that we're going to differentiate from the state cell tower regs is we want a fall zone, so that if you're gonna put another cell tower up, it's not gonna fall on top of somebody's house, because there's no fall zone for that one. And automatically, they're gonna put an antenna and equipment hut up for any type of emergency personnel. I mean, Chief Rook had to fight to get that. He shouldn't have to. That should just be an automatic thing. You wanna put a cell tower up, you're gonna provide services for emergency. End of the question.
but didn't we pay for that as taxpayers? Didn't we had to
Yeah,
pay for
but he
that?
still had to fight for almost 9 months to get it done. That's ludicrous. That should just be part of it. You want a building permit to do this and make all this money, this is what you're gonna provide services to the town.
Right,
Tit for tat.
makes sense.
So this quote seems a little cheaper than what we're currently paying.
How much?
Like
Pennies?
$1,500 or
1,500
something.
cheaper.
It said, I thought you said 14 something.
This is 14 something, but what we had budgeted is
Okay.
16 too, and they're up to 40, I mean, 14 something now. 14,682.
Not gonna be a whole lot different.
No, I mean, we don't have to change anything, but this is.
We don't, but these are just, he just threw out several options.
I don't wanna say it makes no difference, but
We haven't had any complaints about dispatch call reaction times.
haven't had any complaints.
Call
It's
service.
already, you know,
Established.
working, it's established.
Yeah,
Personally, I think until we have an issue,
Or until we do something
or,
different.
Right.
or until, or if there's more of a
police
difference in the cost.
That's
And
where
it's
the-
not that
that's
he's not
part of
gonna
where this
provide the service that we
conversation comes
want.
from.
If we don't change dispatch, he will,
Because we talked
we
about
hire
that
him
too.
to,
What-
we hire Newport to
It would be
patrol or do
more
whatever for
involved in
15
general
hours a
to
week.
help the
They're gonna do
town
what we want them
Kind
to
of washing
do
his hand versus.
and
us,
bill
that's all.
accordingly.
It doesn't
Whether
really
we
matter,
have
we can
dispatch
still,
or not.
we can still budget the same amount. Doesn't, you know, we budget the same amount,
Right.
that doesn't change anything.
right,
We can kick the can down the road until we solve something else.
Yep.
How's that?
okay. I'm gonna put this with.
That was just a suggestion, and the price is fair, so it doesn't.
Right, yep, absolutely. Next, new items, transfer station stickers.
Price tag. Please.
What,
How much?
increase the price for next year?
Yes, because the stickers are already ready to be distributed as we speak.
Well, we're, what, $2 right now currently?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what do we need?
Ought to be something higher, for sure.
I think realistically, we should be charging
So
at
just
least
the
$10.
cost alone to generate the permit is, we're not recouping it.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we've got, so how many,
Being $5.
how many
is
decals did we sell?
ridiculous.
How many, so this is, so we're 274 divided by 2, right? Is that what this is? Because each one of these transfer decals is one of those stickers. So you're looking at 125, 30 bucks, like 136, something like that.
Sometimes,
No, no.
because sometimes people will just have the hanger, so it's only one, so that could be anywhere from,
The dollar, we already have the hanger.
I can tell you, we service at least 250 a week. different people. So we got 250 dump stickers at least.
I don't know how that worked.
Well, because we average 250 different people on a weekend.
No, I understand that. I'm saying with the transfer decal revenue of $274, I don't know how we have 250 people coming to the dump that have paid for it.
They're only $1 if it's
To
just
be under
extended.
placard.
Correct.
And this is including Loon Lake, correct?
Which needs to be, because they have their own bylaw, they have their own dump station for sewer and their own garbage can for all waste. And they're not technically taxpayers in this town.
So how do we get them to not leave it?
Paul has to call, somebody has to come see him, and you have to prove your residency, basically. Because everybody who comes from there doesn't have a accordance address.
Right. Yeah, they're from Massachusetts.
Or wherever.
Yeah.
I think it's time for about.
Well, if they come in and give an out-of-state plate to put on their tag, that
Guess what?
should tell you.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you can't, you're only supposed to hand out the sticker.
I'm good with that. Especially if it's.
But that's okay, because he can verify they pay taxes.
Yeah, they're camp, they're not like a camp.
They're taxpayers, and that's how.
They own the property.
Yeah, and he's the only one who can tell the difference. Not just, if they need a sticker, they have to come see Paul to get a sticker.
My point was, you just can't eliminate somebody if you have a Massachusetts.
True.
Oh, no.
No.
Never.
No, but that would be a signal to search.
That'd be signal, especially for the Loon Lake group.
Yeah, so you have an out-of-state plate, but we know pretty much everybody around the pond.
So,
Well, what you could do is get a list from Loon Lake of who's camping seasonally.
No, you can't.
no, you do.
Right.
So
It'd be
you
nicer.
do, no. By law, April first, Loon Lake is supposed to provide to the town a list of everybody who's camping there. And they have to do it because we have to assess the campers that are registered for any improvements on the site, so we know who's there.
So in order to raise the fees, we have to make more.
But that's a big portion of the summer trash.
Do we have to make a warrant article to raise the fee? No. I think we can just raise the fee.
Yeah, we own the transfer station. We're trying to make it better whichever way we
We
can.
can just raise the fee.
It'd be one thing if
What's
we had to
that,
raise $100,000. If we didn't.
No, I'm about to make everybody else mad.
So I
I'm the
think,
guy with the spoon stirring. I mean,
No, because you're gonna get people complaining, and people are gonna shoot stuff down.
People are
It's gonna
gonna-
defeat the purpose.
people are gonna complain no matter what.
we do.
I know that. But if you went to town meeting, they'd probably try to shoot it down. It would just be a pain.
So, $20 a ticket?
$20.
I think realistically, $20 annually for transfer station fees isn't, I don't see that being the end of the world for
Oh,
what you get, what you actually get.
What is it a month to have a trash thing at your house?
Well,
$70.
divide 20 by 12.
$70.
Do the math. What is it, $1.60?
And I don't wanna say 25 for the transfer station decal, cause then poor Paul's gotta make all the change.
Start paying with 5.
Just come in with a 20.
That's why I agree with that too. That's why, I was gonna suggest 10 or 20, one or the other. I don't really
20
care.
is more
There
than
ought to be
fair.
something.
Do 20, and then if you have extra, you're gonna pay for that, tires or whatever.
There's-
Yeah.
It'll all come out in the over budget or whatever.
Edmund.
And we're not gonna know what the budget's gonna really be until the end of, like, one whole year of running this thing anyways.
And then there's gonna have to be a letter to the lake,
My neighbors who burn their trash.
to campground, telling them.
Make a motion to raise the annual fee for the transfer station to $20.
Second.
All those in favor?
Do we have trash
I just made about 400 people mad.
dumpsters for $20?
The decals.
Good to know.
I know, you're gonna bring all your trash to your son.
Using for the dump.
Okay,
Even at 225 cars, that's $4,500. That's $4,500.
Now, if it goes to $20, are you gonna make?
It just did.
Put a license plate on it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's still gonna be the same
What
way.
if I wanna bring my Tahoe 1 week and I got a few bags and I bring my.
Take the decal. We know who you are.
Yeah.
Well, everybody knows who you are. Take it, put it in the other car. You'll be
Yeah.
all right.
That's the reason why you have a decal like that on the hanger.
Yeah, so go buy.
If you come in with Massachusetts plates, you better come in hot.
Paul, do you have any updates for us today?
Master plan out.
Yeah.
Survey.
Yeah, I actually made one for you.
Oh yeah, master plan survey, everybody fill theirs out?
Yep.
I did.
I did.
I did, I already passed mine in.
Me too. Good job. All right, I make a motion to open public forum number 2.
Second.
All those in favor?
As she looks at me.
Well,
Any new business?
Yeah, I know.
Anybody have
Wait, we have more new business.
Why?
If you guys out.
You forgot to ask them.
I have new business, you just have to give me a minute to find it. You know, my.
This is because she missed last time.
Then I take back my second.
No, because nobody has it. So I have a question. Yes, ma'am.
Is the dump open tomorrow, because it's near the holiday?
As far as I know, it is.
Yeah. That's all. I make a motion to close public forum 2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Kim, you have a new item, I'm so sorry.
That's okay, I have a new item. So, I forget which meeting it was, but Mr. Gardner stood up and asked about, basically asked about ethics. So.
Can you move that speaker closer to you so
I'm sorry. So, Mr. Gardner on the ZBA stood up a couple meetings ago and had some questions about
October
ethics.
22nd.
October 22nd, about, recusing, just, and it got me thinking because we're such a small town. And there's just so much crossover because there seems to be a small core group who does so many different things here. And there's just a lot of overlap. And so he's right, the land use boards have state statutes, RSAs, that give them guidelines on how they have to handle certain situations, to recuse themselves to be an ethical person. The Board of Selectmen, many of the other things that we do here in town, we don't have those. But a lot of towns and cities make up their own policies. So, because this is kind of what I do.
God bless you.
I just want everybody to look at this and give it a few weeks, marinate on it. Let's get back together and talk about it. This is a draft of an ethics policy and procedure for the boards, for officials and employees. And it's basically, the purpose is that the citizens of the town of Croydon are entitled to a fair, ethical, and accountable town government and the effective functioning of democratic government. And it just spells a lot of different things out. So I'd like the board to go through and look at it, and then let's just have a good discussion on it.
So this will be when everyone is sworn in? They would be required?
Yes, they would be required to read it and agree to the terms of this policy.
This needs to be enacted by the time town meeting comes around.
We can do that.
See?
We can do that.
Thank you.
You're still here?
I know, I just said if you guys are done, don't need me anymore, I'll go home.
You better hang out, because you never know.
So that's my new business.
Thank you, ma'am.
I love it. Thank you. Anybody have anything else? I make a motion to adjourn.
Nope,
No?
non-public.
Oh.
The thing we talked about.
Someone do it?
Yes, I don't, hang on a second, I gotta get my cheat sheet. We have to have a non-public session pursuant to this is not the proper cheat sheet, Melissa. Pursuant to RSA 91A-3, and I'll get the proper letter for you.
I think it's C.
Thank you, C. Thank you, Paul.
A second? Did you say motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we enter into that non-public session.
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
I don't know what you were looking for.
No, Paul helped me out.
I know, you were looking specific, I was like.
Yeah, I have to be specific. I have to be specific.
Do you guys need to go?
No, but if you go, then you guys can stay.
We always need to, yes.
Oh, you know
Yes,
what?
yes. Amy, can you come up and invite Paul?
Paul, I need to public invite you to this private meeting.
Thank you.
I'm not.
Be careful, it's starting to get slippery. Oh, I'm telling you.
indefinitely.
Forever.
Oh,
I make a motion that we, wait a minute, until everybody.
I have a big question. Who's got the keys? Who's
Hold
got
on a
Transfer
second.
station?
Yeah,
They're
Joe
here.
does. You have the keys to the.
Paul does.
Yeah, okay.
Then who's gonna give them to the new guys? Tomorrow.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
I make a motion that we return to open session.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that we close the minutes of the closed session indefinitely.
Second.
Second, aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Kim and Amy, Kim and Amy. Yeah. And then I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Just make sure somebody gets me those keys.
Get the keys.